Civil War is a political road movie set in a dystopian parallel universe. Somewhere in the near future exists a country divided. Its citizens are numb to the trauma and bloodshed around them and have little to no problem participating in such horrors themselves. Alex Garland has brewed an interesting take on the post-apocalyptic genre, like a zombie film without the zombies. The main characters here are war journalists, and the film takes a casual look into their daily lives as they sidle up to danger, most days in a line of heavy fire, armed with nothing but their cameras and a death wish. Instead of tackling the blue versus red of today's political climate, the film instead chooses to focus on its characters, their jobs/passions, obsessions in their case, and how they interact with each other. Nothing much else happens, really. There are a few brushes with death, tension-filled scenes of some of the worst-case scenarios of war, but for the most part, this is a quiet film. Not much dialogue, but a lot of contemplative, horrified, and worried faces. In this way, it is very Alex Garland. The sonic subtlety of its soundscape is unsettling, but when the booms come in, they shatter whatever screen you may be watching on. The cinematography and editing is very reminiscent of his past work like Ex Machina and Annihilation. Decisions such as turning down the dialogue or indulging in some artsy slow motion do occur from time to time. The cast is doing a good job with what they were given. Any sense of a fully fleshed out character with a detailed backstory is kept hidden from the audience, although it is possible that the performers were given these tools before or during filming. It is hard to invest in our group of protagonists here. You may not be able to relate to them on any level higher than them simply being human. The entire film is set in a very small window of time, existing at the very beginning or the very end of their stories, depending on which character you're speaking of, and avoiding any spoilers, of course. Kirsten Dunst plays the lead protagonist with very little emotion. This is obviously done on purpose as her character is disillusioned and basically broken inside. This is due to an entire career's worth of shooting real-life carnage, living life on a tight wire, a junkie's rush-filled existence, only now the effects of the drugs have dulled and the thrill of the hunt has faded. You will either be on board with her performance or not. I guess I live somewhere in the middle. I understand what she was doing, but at the same time I found myself wishing for more. The rest of the crew are just professionals, at different points in their careers, with a similarly unhealthy love for the game of war correspondence. Civil War has been reported by Alex Garland himself as being his final directorial effort. My opinion on the film cannot help but be affected by this fact. As just another Garland film, I would say that it is definitely not his best, maybe ranking fourth among his other three films, but judging a director's final film will always be very different. And this is the final film of one of the most interesting genre directors to come along in the last 20 years or so. If you look at Civil War in this way, you may consider it a major disappointment.